Welcome to the Veroscope analysis of the cross-examination of Sergeant Bukhenic, who was one of the lead investigators in the Massachusetts State Police investigation against Karen Reed. For those who are new to the trial, this is Sergeant Bukhenic, and this is Karen Reed, who faced two trials for the murder of John O'Keefe, who was a Boston police officer and also her boyfriend at the time. We will be going through the actual trial itself. This is the judge here, who we can't quite see, and so note any bias that you see in her trial transcript. And here is Sergeant, I always get his name wrong. Perhaps someone in the comments can spell it for me phonetically. Bukhenic. So let's have a quick look at the actual analysis itself. We're going to go into some detail, and it's probably going to be a multi-part analysis. But the summary so far in terms of statement analysis and forensic linguistics, which if you're new to, by the way, is if you follow along on the Veroscope channel, you'll learn how people lie, how to spot deception in your own lives, whether that's in your personal life with friends, colleagues, relationships, or at work with bosses, employees, suppliers, clients. Being able to tell who is being slightly deceptive or very deceptive in your life is a major skill which you can pick up. And you can pick it up quite quickly, literally within watching quite a few of these videos as an instructional, educational format. So here we have an executive summary. What do we see? When we play the video, look out for this. With the forward edge, no investigation of the connection between the Albert family vehicle and the plough driver sighting. We have ring access problems. The supervisor is unaware who accessed O'Keefe's phone. Medical knowledge, detailed lividity explanation followed by claimed inability to identify it. And we see language patterns where the frequent use of I believe, which can be a deceptive marker when discussing factual matters. We also see pronoun usage, we, when acknowledging failures, and I, when expressing uncertainty. We look for pronoun changes in statement analysis, so look for pronoun changes. The hedging language, the I believe being a good example, but we'll see lots of other types of hedging. The technical language, complex terminology when avoiding direct answers. So one of the simple ways of spotting deception, very often they'll pretend they couldn't hear, or they will question the question, or they will rephrase the question and answer a different question. All are extremely common, so look out for those. And we have what we call sensitivity, where they repeat words in the same sentence, or sometimes where they repeat pronouns in the same sentence. So we might see the pattern of I, and then they carry on with the sentence. It's effectively a form of self-censorship at the unconscious level. And also within his statement, look for contradictions. So he's aware the Albert family had a forward edge. The supervisor, unaware who accessed evidence on the phone. Medical observation differences, timeline discrepancies, video testimony with the mirror image, which we'll see later on, and performance review with Proctor, who reported to him, and we will see high levels of deception. For instance, in the text message where Proctor calls Karen Reed retarded. Proctor looks for nude photographs on Karen Reed's phone. We have Julie Albert receiving Proctor family gifts. The video proof, Proctor went to the damaged tail light, and also it was a mirror image. And we had Higgins hanging around the Sally port, all unexplained. all of which this sergeant was supposed to be in charge of this investigation, and Karen Reed is now suing him directly for I would imagine, let me just check some details here. What's she actually suing him for? If you know, do put it in the comments. I would imagine it's for violations against her civil rights and possibly being related to other parties who were involved in a conspiracy against her. So if anybody knows the details of why Karen is suing him and what for, please do put those in the comments as well. So let's carry on with the actual transcript and trial. Otherwise, you might get a little bit too bored, but there's plenty of things to run through, plenty of observations to find. Let's carry on with the trial.
Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning.
I'd like to ask you, just to start off with, at some point during the course of your investigation, did you become aware that a snowplow driver had reported having seen a Ford Edge being moved into a location in front
And this is Lucky, isn't it? Who we're going to be analysing very shortly.
Of 34 Fairview sometime in the early morning hours of January 29th, 2022?
We learned about a plow truck driver. I don't believe his recollection was as you described, though.
Do you remember him mentioning a Ford Edge?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember him saying that the Ford Edge had been moved? He had passed by, it wasn't there. At some point, he passed by again, and it was there, impeding his plow route.
Yes.
Okay. What is your best memory about when he said he believed the Ford Edge? Sorry, I guess a better way to put it is, when did he say he first saw the Ford Edge in place in front of 34 Fairview?
I don't remember exactly. I know it was during the middle of the night. My not adopting your narrative was the fact that he saw it being moved there.
Understood. I figured that. I clocked that as soon as I said it. He didn't see it moved. He saw it. He saw 34 Fairview without it there. Then about an hour later, it was there.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Would about 3:30 in the morning sound right to you in terms of what he reported, in terms of the time that he saw it there?
It sounds right, but I'm not sure of the exact time. My report would reflect the accurate time.
Fair enough. Let me see if I can grab that report.
So immediately we're seeing a hedging pattern, a pattern of non-cooperation and hedging and pickiness.
Let me ask this. Well, it's a very lengthy report. Instead of making you sit there and wait, let me just ask this. Do you remember him saying that he had first plowed the area free of the Ford Edge? In other words, first passed in front of 34 Fairview around 2:30 in the morning? Does that sound right?
I believe his dispatch time for the plowing of the roads that evening was 2:30, but I would have to look at my report.
That's fine. And then it was sometime subsequent there too that he saw the Ford Edge in place, maybe an hour later?
Sounds about right, again.
Okay. Did you take any investigative steps when you learned about this snowplow driver to determine who, if anyone, might have owned a Ford Edge associated with 34 Fairview?
I did not know.
Did your investigation ever reveal that the Albert family actually had a Ford Edge at the time?
Yes.
I want to shift gears for a second to One Meadows, if I could, and ring video evidence associated with One Meadows. You testified that on direct examination that there was no video from Ring at or around the time 12:36 a.m. When Miss Reed's SUV returned back to One Meadows. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes.
You did receive a search warrant returned from the Ring Corporation in furtherance of a search warrant executed by Trooper Proctor, correct? Former Trooper Proctor.
Evidence was returned by Ring, yes.
And in addition to the actual video recordings, there was also an activity log that was returned associated with that time and that location from the Ring Corporation, correct?
There was a key log identifying each video that was provided by the time and date when the video was recorded. It's not an activity log per se for the account. It's strictly a key describing the video, telling you what time the video was recorded.
During the entirety of your investigation, was there any evidence uncovered at all that Ms. Reed had accessed the account information associated with that Ring account?
No evidence could be provided by Ring documenting that activity.
But there is evidence that someone had accessed the account through John O'Keefe's cell phone, correct?
I am not aware of that.
Are you aware that after John O'Keefe's cell phone was recovered by Massachusetts State Police, someone at Massachusetts State Police actually opened the Ring app on his cell phone?
Yes.
Who is the person who opened and accessed the Ring app on John O'Keefe's cell phone?
I'm not 100% sure.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sergeant, how...
We look for the 100% in statement analysis. I'm not 100% sure. We put in a flag, that's a deceptive marker. I'm not sure is more reliable. But considering that this investigator is in charge of a murder inquiry, he doesn't seem to know an awful lot. He admits that the snowplow driver, Lucky, talked about a Ford Edge, but did no investigation about it at all, and then admits that he knows one of the people in the house where the killing occurred, where the body of John O'Keefe was found on the front lawn, actually does own a Ford Edge. And unbelievably, if you're new to this trial, perhaps you're looking at this video from the UK. This is the only murder trial where a police officer is found murdered on the front lawn, and the police investigators don't go into the house. Can you believe that? It's unbelievable.
You looked at this report. Does that refresh your recollection as to who may have accessed that Ring app?
Yes, that report is authored by Michael Proctor, and it says that investigators accessed the Ring application.
Thank you. I want to show you one other document, if I could.
So in my opinion, he does know who accessed the app, but he's not 100% sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've just handed you what purports to be the search warrant return for the Ring, from the Ring company, correct?
I got to take a look through all of it.
Of course. Take your time. Thank you, Sergeant. Have you had an opportunity to review that document?
I have.
Does it indicate that in addition to several other files, there is a login session report that was produced by the Ring Corporation as well? It's highlighted on that page.
Number 4 is highlighted with one Excel file containing login session information.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. And again, just to make sure I'm very clear about this, nothing from the Ring Corporation suggested or intimated that Ms. Reed actually accessed any of that Ring account information, correct?
The information provided did not indicate that, no.
Thank you. I want to ask you a couple of questions about your testimony on direct examination related to your trip to the hospital and your observation specific to Mr. O'Keefe's right arm. You indicated that you saw bruising on his right arm in addition to the abrasions, the parallel abrasions that you described, correct?
I believe bruising is very similar to abrasion.
Okay, that's my question. Can we, Your Honor, with the court's permission, can we show Exhibit 1? It's already been introduced. Is this a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw in terms of the condition of Mr. O'Keefe's arm while at the hospital, if not exactly like this?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What did you mean when you said you saw bruising on his arm? What were you talking about?
I actually indicated bruising on his right hand, the back of his right hand.
Okay, fair enough. From his wrist, when I say arm...
We always mark the word actually in statement analysis. It's one of the comparison words, and we will often find the word actually in deception. It doesn't mean anything per se. As a flag that we mark individually means nothing. So we look for the clusters of flags and essentially superclusters of these deception markers. So always pay attention when you hear the word actually.
Can we agree, at least for this purpose for the purposes of this discussion, that I mean from the wrist up to the shoulder? Mm-hmm. Did you see any bruising from the wrist to his shoulder?
I saw exactly what's depicted there with the abrasions and lacerations.
Okay. You know what lividity is, correct?
I do.
Okay. Describe for the jurors what lividity is.
Lividity is the pooling of blood inside the body as a deceased individual falls or is positioned naturally with gravity. Blood begins to settle in the lowest portions of the body. If you're laying face down, it'd be your face. It also contours to the imprint or the force that's exerted on the body from below. If someone's deceased on TV remote control, you can see the remote control, the buttons underneath from the pressure.
So it's a bluish, purplish discoloration of the skin, not from an impact, but from the pooling of blood after the heart stops, correct?
That's correct.
Do you see an area at the upper arm that the skin looks discolored in addition to the abrasions that we see?
I'm sorry, I was looking at that one.
Sure, I'm sorry, yes. Right up toward the upper biceps, triceps area?
I see that area, yes.
Okay, is that consistent with lividity rather than bruising?
I would not agree with that, no.
You believe that that's a bruise?
I believe that that's a laceration.
I'm sorry, I'm talking about the discoloration of the skin, the reddish purplish hue of the skin, separate and apart from the abrasion, from the abrasions or lacerations to the skin. The discoloration. Do you see that discoloration or no?
I do not know.
You do not?
I do not know.
Okay, we can take that down.
Who did he look at just then?
As you sit here today, you're not suggesting that you saw bruising from the wrist to the shoulder on John O'Keefe's arm?
Nothing that stood out to me.
Okay.
I observed lacerations and abrasions.
All right, thank you. I want to shift gears one more time and ask you about your trip to Dighton and the seizure of the SUV. You testified that you seized the SUV somewhere, I think your testimony on direct examination was somewhere around 4:15, 4:17, something like that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Does 4:12 sound like it could be a reasonable time that SUV was actually seized in Massachusetts State Police custody?
It could be reasonable. I'd have to refer to the video evidence that, and then also.
Okay, so he has a very effective technique, which we can already mark down as one of his patterns, where he has to answer, but where it might not be convenient for him to answer, He says, I would need to look at a report. I would need to look at the video evidence. I would need to ABC. So it's a very good technique. I would imagine he's an experienced officer on the stand.
So the exact time that we advised the defendant that we are going to be seizing it, I guess it could be argued that.
Always look for, I guess, could be, argued that. This is intense hedging language. Essentially, it's get out of jail free cards or the ability to change your mind without being directly accused of lying. Politicians use this language pattern a lot.
That's when it was seized. Even we had the intent to seize it right there.
Right. Took the key fob, went outside, had a had a tow truck driver actually put it onto the back of a flatbed. Ultimately, it was transported. Correct.
Correct.
And you became aware at some point that there was video evidence. You just referenced it. Video evidence of that. I'm going to call it seizure process. Is that right?
Yes.
And that video evidence had a timestamp on it. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. You're also aware, as the supervisor of Michael Proctor, that he swore under oath in multiple affidavits in support of search warrants that the SUV was seized at 5:30 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And you knew at the time, because you were actually there, and you knew when the vehicle was seized, that stating under oath in an affidavit that it was 5:30 p.m. and not 4:12 p.m., that was a false statement, correct?
There's a discrepancy in time there, yes.
Did you take any action, you yourself, as a...
So notice that he just answered the question in a different way. Rather than saying, yes, that was a lie, he answered the question in a different way. So that's deceptive, and we put in a flag.
Supervisor, did you take any action to correct that false or misleading state? Let me ask it a different way. Did you take any action to correct that time to the accurate time of 4:12 in any of the affidavits that you became aware of?
No, the actual time of the seizure through the video we learned much later. So the approximate time, 5:30, although inaccurate, I did not take any action to correct it, no.
And you received that video.
So there we had lots of unnecessary words and slight cognitive upset due to stress. So if you examine the sentence structure, it was higgledy-piggledy is a phrase.
As a production from the defense, you did not have access to that video, correct?
Yes.
And so at the time that Michael Proctor actually wrote and drafted these affidavits and swore to them under oath, he did not know that a video existed, correct?
Objection.
Sustained, you have to word it differently.
Sure. At the time that you, let me ask
Oh dear, he's getting hot around the collar.
it a different way. At the time that you reviewed his declarations under oath, you did not know that a video existed.
No, we did not know.
So that should have been no, I did not know, but he hides in the crowd. That's a very common tactic in deception. The use of the pronoun we, it takes away personal agency and allows you to slightly hide in the crowd.
If I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
Okay, let's go back to the actual analysis itself and have a look what we can see so far. So, linguistic observations in the foundation testimony. The forward edge exchange. We see some repetition of the word plough, multiple filler words, lots of ums and ahs, qualifying statement. He acknowledges knowing the Albert family owned a forward edge and hearing about a plough driver's report, but states no investigation was conducted to connect these two pieces of information. This is the murder of a Boston cop found on the front lawn of another police officer. we have direct evidence given by a witness, and he says that essentially he did nothing. Why? Why did he do nothing? Secondly, the Ring video access testimony. He introduces technical terminology rather than answering simply. Key log with multiple false starts. So here we have examples of what's called self-censorship. When we see self-censorship, we put in a flag. Some qualifiers per se when describing the activity log. States uncertainty about who accessed the phone. He uses that 100% marker. In my opinion, he does know exactly who accessed the phone, but doesn't want to say. He's lying, in my opinion. Testimony. He acknowledges someone at Massachusetts State Police accessed O'Keefe's Ring app, but states he doesn't know who specifically accessed it. The hedging language pattern, I believe constantly, and also those other patterns which we discussed during the video. Okay. So don't forget, this guy is a supervising sergeant of Proctor. We, when acknowledging awareness or admitting actions not taken. I, when expressing uncertainty or lack of knowledge. So we would look for this pattern to continue. We're establishing a baseline. He provides detailed, accurate medical definition of lividity, but states, I do not know when asked about the discoloration. Under continued questioning, he acknowledges seeing discoloration, but claims to have been focused more on the injuries. Okay, let's go back to the transcript. Sorry, to the video.
I want to ask you about something that was brought up on direct examination. Sustained findings as it pertains to you. You've already talked about the fact that, Sergeant, you're a supervisor and were a supervisor back in January of 2022 moving forward over Trooper Proctor, correct?
Yes.
Generally speaking, as a supervisor, your job is to properly and professionally supervise, show some authority over those in your charge. Is that right?
Yes.
Michael Proctor was in fact a trooper in your charge.
Yes.
And you would agree that your supervision has a direct impact on the character and quality of the subordinate investigators that you supervise.
Yes.
The whole point of having...
So that pause we note, he's looking to get out of any potential trap that Jackson is setting. That in itself is a deceptive marker and not the actions of somebody who is on the witness stand attempting to be truthful. That's the actions of someone who is concerned about the truth coming out.
Supervision and a chain of command is to establish a certain amount of, for lack of a better phrase, quality control of the subordinates.
Yes.
That would also include quality control over the subordinates' investigations.
Yes.
He's also been well trained. If you ever find yourself on the witness stand, just say yes or no. Do not answer any of the questions.
August 17th, 2022, you were in a group text with the following individuals: Michael Proctor, Trooper Kukowski, a lieutenant named Fanning, and a trooper named DiCicco, D-I-C-I-C-C-O, correct?
Yes.
I'm handing you a document. Can you tell me if you recognize that document?
I recognize parts of it.
You saw that document on direct examination. I think you were shown the same document, correct?
It was different parts of it, but same. It's inclusive of within this document.
Okay. Let's start with this. You indicated that you did not see Michael Proctor's name on that document, correct?
Correct. His name is not on here.
But you do recognize that as being reflective, accurately reflective of the text chain that you were on August 17th, 2022, that group chat.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to do this a little bit backward, but bear with me. You do see the name Kokowski, correct?
I do.
You do see the name Fanning, correct?
I do.
You do see the name DeChico, correct?
I do.
And you do see the name Bukhenic, correct?
No, it's misspelled, but I know it's probably referencing me.
Okay.
Probably referencing me. This is a text group chat, which he's fully aware of. Introducing the spelling error and then introducing probably me and spending ages looking through the documentation is highly deceptive.
The only other text or person texting on that chain is a code, a lengthy, almost like a URL code with no name, correct?
Yes, you're right.
And
yes.
the only person that I didn't name, whose name I did not read off, it's obvious on that document, is Michael Proctor, correct?
Correct.
So deductive reasoning tells you that that is, the code is Michael Proctor. Is that right?
I would agree with you, yes.
Okay. In that text chain,
When we hear the phrase, I would agree with you, yes at the end, that's also a deceptive marker. That's reluctance. And I would agree is not agreeing. It's subtle, but in goes the flag. It's another deceptive marker.
it starts with Trooper DeChico sending a photograph, correct?
No.
May I approach?
Yes.
You turn to page 2683.
Confusion is also in of itself another deception pattern, and sometimes a skilled deceiver can purposely cause delay, slowdowns, confusion, question the question. I'll need to see the video, I'll need to see the report, I don't remember. These are all techniques that the deceivers will use.
Do you see a photograph there?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Fair enough. There were some texts between and among the group that preceded this photograph, correct?
Yes.
I want to start on this date, August 17, 2022, with this photograph. This photograph was sent by Trooper DeChico to the group, correct?
Do you see the pattern? Do you see the technique?
It possibly appears that way. I really can't. I mean,
Possibly appears that way. I really can't. I mean, he's probably been looking at this document for years.
Your Honor, with the
Yes.
court's permission, I'm not sure this document has been marked. I'd like to have this marked and admitted.
Sure, we'll mark it for ID.
I'd actually like to have it marked and admitted. There's certain things I'd like to show.
What's the Commonwealth's position on that?
I have no objection to admission, but not in this form. It needs to be redacted.
Can you do it?
What I intend to do, I can do with one photograph. If I may have a moment with counsel.
Okay.
Okay, that's timely. That brings us to the end of this part of the analysis. We'll continue with this individual into part 2, where the where we'll discover Proctor has been going through Karen Reed's phone looking for nudes, and where they've been talking in this group chat, calling her a retard and all sorts of other highly unprofessional actions from this group of officers. Okay, look forward to speak to you in the comments.